Hello and welcome to you all in the second session of the architecture series. And in this session, we are going to learn about MVP architecture. So MVP is a derivative of model view controller architecture. So before jumping into the actual session, first we will try to understand that what are the problems that MVC architecture is having and how MVP architecture can help us in solving those particular issues. So let's jump into the MVC problems first. In this part of the session, we will have a very quick review of the MVC architecture because it is very much important to understand that what kind of problem MVC architecture is having and how MVP architecture is helping in order to solve those issues. So if you look into the diagram on my right, in MVC architecture, we are having majorly three layers. One is model, second is view, and third is the controller. And controller is working as an intermediate between the model and the view. And whenever user is taking any action, it is reaching from the view layer to the controller, and then according to that action, controller is modifying the model data and model is notifying back to the controller, and once that notification is completed, the controller is modifying the view layer. So here you can see that controller is performing multiple responsibilities, and in order to complete these two responsibilities, we are breaking a very basic principle of the design, that is single responsibility principle. And what is the result of this? Result of this is ultimately my view controller become very messy because it is having the combination of the business logic plus the UI logic also. Both of the logic are written in the single place inside the controller layer, and ultimately my view controller is becoming very fat, and this problem is known as fat view controller problem in MVC. And now MVP architecture comes into the picture to solve this fat view controller problem. In MVP architecture, we are having majorly three components. One is model, second is view, and third is presenter. And presenter is the layer that is got introduced in MVP architecture to solve that fat view controller and testability issue. So now we will try to understand that how presenter can help us in order to solve that fat view controller issue. So in the MVC architecture, whatever business logic is needed to be written, that goes inside the presenter layer. And this is the place that is responsible to solve that fat view controller issue that is existing in the MVC architecture. Now we are having a clear separation of the responsibility between the view and the view controller and the presenter layer. And here you can see that presenter works as an intermediate between the view and the model layer. So whatever view or the layout related logic we need to written, we are writing inside the view or the view controller, and whatever business logic we need to write, we are writing inside the presenter layer only. So whenever user is taking any action, it goes to the presenter, and presenter is updating the model, model is notifying the presenter, and presenter is updating the view. And there is a no communication between view and the model layer that sometimes happen in the MVC architecture. So you can see with the clear separation of the responsibility, presenter here making the view or the view controller layer very light in the MVP architecture. And this is the place where MVP architecture is solving that fat view controller issue. Till now you have got the very clear understanding of the MVP architecture conceptually. So what should be the next step? The next step is code sample. Open your Xcode now.
For the sake of understanding, I am taking here a very simple example for the demonstration. So in this particular use case, what we are having is we are having a view controller on which I am assuming we are having a button, and on the click of that button we get some ID, and on the basis of that ID we fetch some student detail either from the database or from the networking layer, and once we receive the data, then we need to populate the detail view. So this is the overall case that we are going to demonstrate. So the very first thing we will try to understand this implementation of our view layer. So in our view layer, we are having an IB outlet, that is detail view, and that is the object of detail view class that we will populate when we get the student data. And as I have already told you that presenter is always owned by the view layer. So here is a lazy variable presenter defined, that is the object of student detail presenter, and whenever user is pressing the button, then this IB action get detail button press get fired, and with the help of this IB action we are sending this particular action to the presenter to perform all the business logic. So here you can see that whatever UI logic needed to create the view controller is there, and whatever business logic we need to perform on the data, that goes inside the presenter layer. So when user press the button, then control goes inside the presenter with the help of this get student detail button pressed function. Now we will try to see the implementation of our presenter class. So in our presenter class, there is a dependency of student detail view, because once we receive the data, we need to populate that data to the detail view. So that's why we are having this particular dependency here. And there is a property of a student data model that we need to fetch from the database or from the API. So once user click on that particular button, that function get a student detail button press fire inside of my presenter from the view layer. And for the sake of simplicity and the understanding clarity, I am not jumping into the networking layer and the database implementation here. That particular business logic you can write here. And once you receive the data in the form of a student data model, you can call the update student detail view method inside your detail view. So this is the implementation of the detail view, where we have created a protocol student detail view that is having a method function update detail view that have two arguments, name and the age, and this method is coming from that particular protocol. And once you receive the data inside your presenter, then you can call this update student detail view method from the presenter. Now you can see my presenter is performing all the business logic, and it is also updating the view layer. So this responsibility got separated from the view controller into presenter. So that's why my view controller is little bit light in comparison of the MVC architecture. So this is the overall implementation of the MVP architecture, and this is the very, you can say, simple and the easy use case that we have given here to make you understand the implementation of the MVP architecture. And there is one more thing I would like to say, that there is one more approach, or you can say there are two approaches basically to implement the MVP architecture. One is known as the dumb view, and second is known as the supervising controller approach. So what we do in supervising controller approach is, so here what we are doing is to populate the detail view, we are calling this method directly. Now the other implementation is your detail view or the view that is needed to be populated can directly observe this property inside the presenter class. So how you can do that? You can do that with the help of RxSwift, or with the help of observer button, or with the help of combine. So in that case, this thing will not be required, because your view is directly observing this particular property inside the presenter, and whenever this is getting changed in the form of reactive stream, your student detail view will get the notification, and after that you can update it accordingly. So this is the another approach that is known as the supervising controller approach to implement the MVP architecture. So now you understand both of the approaches, and with the help of this simple example, I hope you have understood the clear implementation of MVP architecture. Here we end this tutorial on MVP architecture, and one question I am leaving as a food for your thought and also as a base for our next tutorial, that is there any issue with MVP architecture? Can you find it? So till our next tutorial, stay motivated and keep learning. Thank you.